YouTube, what's going on today, everybody? Back here with another video, and today I'm going to just go over some of the key points in the gameplay that I saw while I was watching it over again, and kind of bring it to you guys' attention and give you some context on things. So I'm not gonna like play the whole gameplay, you'll just kind of see bits and pieces here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Right here, just starting off here, Rocky Marciano's throwing this like left hook, and it Joe Louis, his lead hand is down, but you kind of get the gist of like punching around and punching through the guard. I'll let it play all the way through here. Hold on, we'll start. Boom, you can kind of see it, but Joe Louis's hand was down, so he technically didn't punch around the guard right there. Oh, and then this too. You see Joe Louis throw an uppercut, and Rocky's coming with a right hook at the same time. Due to the physics system, right? He's able to just kind of punch around that uppercut, and his natural like body motion with him turning in the punch kind of helps him get away from that uppercut. Physics is great, man. Physics are on point. So you see how they kind of just cut. So it's this gameplay, and then there's a cut. You can kind of see in the top left hand corner the red splatter. You probably won't be able to tell by that on who's hurt, but if we look down and you see Joe Louis, he has a red health bar. Plus, Rocky Marciano has a 91 BPM. So your BPM, from what I noticed, wouldn't get that high unless it's coming down from the adrenaline rush, adrenaline system. So even if that health bar wasn't there, you would know just based off the BPM that Rocky Marciano hurt Joe Louis. Oh, another thing, just bam, you see this? If Rocky Marciano was just an inch closer, instead of this hook falling short, it would have went right around Joe Louis's arm and landed. And you can kind of see, since it's falling short, it kind of gets stuck on Joe's glove, bringing his hand down. Little things like that, just, oh, it's crazy. I brought it up to Ash about like the power modified punches, it just messes like with the flow of the game for me. I'm pretty sure that like it's so telling, you can tell obviously. And he said it's for a gameplay balance, right? You want to be able to tell. You want to give the other player a telltale sign of like, okay, it's a regular hook versus a power modified hook, which I understand, but like, I don't know. I don't know if I ever like. I don't know if I'll ever really like that, if I'm gonna be honest. It just because everything here in that sequence, while they're not throwing any jabs or right hands, they're literally just hooking. They're literally just throwing hooks, which SEI, get the best people on the sticks. Varus I can't believe he just out here hooking. I don't know who he going against, but they just out here hooking. They just out there hooking. Oh, and but as I say that, Joe Louis in this uppercut, Rocky Marciano literally moves right into this uppercut, giving it probably some extra damage, and just, oh man, that's we're gonna watch that through, but yeah, that's brutal. And even this sequence, you can see Joe Louis hooking, and his hook's a little bit tighter, while Rocky's is a bit wider, and he's able to get inside and land his hook and the uppercut to follow. Yee! And the clinch was very powerful. And we noticed that with Sean Porter. He would score, clinch. The clinch, once the clinch is like inputted, it doesn't matter what's coming back. The clinch, it felt like the clinch was going to take priority over, you know, your opponent throwing a punch or anything. If the clinch was going to, like, you were going to get stopped and be in the clinch. And I know people had asked, like, do the ropes have like some physics or something? We can kind of see here. He gets knocked into him. So yeah, they do. they told me about the weave. Someone had explained it, and weaving basically just sounds like rolling with punches, rolling under punches. That's from the gyms that I've been in. That's what they call it. While I guess it just goes by gym, but the weaving is basically rolling with punches. And when you weave, like you just weave, slip, doesn't matter what it is. This is what we're talking about. Like he has to return. Joe Louis slipped that punch or rolled away from that punch, but he can't like counter back. Like he can't do that pull counter. And the pull counter wasn't even the worst one. Like you could kind of make it look like a pull counter, but he just with all of those animations, your head had to return back to the center line. Right here, coming forward with your punch, you can see Gotti come forward here with a hook. Right, and he's coming forward with the hook. It looks, you can see him take that step. Boom. And when I was critiquing the game, coming forward and punching wasn't one of the things that I critiqued. I was critiquing like the lunge, like when you lunge and you like kind of press hard towards your opponent with your left stick, it'll have a lunge animation. You can't punch with that animation. And it's crazy. I think we saw like Joe Louis's like signature like lunging hook. So it's like one of those things where I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I brought it up. I don't know if they'll add that in there. But yeah, moving forward with your punches was great. As you guys can see, ref is back there. Bayless back there, just he's going through the ropes. He's not interested in this fight at all. He really just wanted to buy tickets to the fight, but unfortunately he had to ref it. But man, this is just a mild glitch. He would literally some fights be out of the ring. So this is just a mild glitch. See, this is so disappointing, right? He slips the jab, but instead of him being able to come back and punch, instead of him being able to punch instantly, he's got to return home. That sucked. Two here with let's look at this Conor Benn right hand here. It kind of looks like a right, like you see that right hand right there. It's one of those things. It's like I don't want to hurt you too bad, so here, like he just kind of placed it out there. A lot of people saying it like it's arm punches, which it's not arm punching. We can like literally see him get his body into it. Like we literally like freeze frame right here. Like you can see his body's in the punch, but it's like almost like some like acting boxing punches, right? Where they're like, they want to make it look real, but they don't want to hurt the other person, right? Like some Creed stuff, right? And it just looks like there's no like snap or pop, which is crazy, right? Because playing the game, I never felt like, oh my God, why are they not trying to, hurt each other or something, right? When we were landing punches. But now that I'm sitting back and watching it, some of the punches do look like there's no snap. There's no like, okay, I want to throw this punch and, land it and do some damage. It's just like, let me just place this right here kindly. And that right hand is, he did it again. Yeah, it just doesn't look impactful. Also, hold on, where's my mouse? This can't, like, they saying like this is our build, but like a few things that I noticed that were different were like, I think there's like going to be like a round 7 gameplay by that time. In our build in the United States, at least, the corners would have been in the ring. Like the corners, their heads would have been popping throughout the ring. Why are these people, look at the top, these people that are like standing on like this like railway or whatever, their feet are they're hovering. I don't know if you guys can see that at the top, but they're hovering. Yeah, like I think in that round 7 gameplay, they were still in their respective corners. So like, I don't know if that's changed. I don't know if the UK build was slightly less buggy. I'm not for sure. And also there was something with Caleb Plant that I'll kind of touch on when we get there. And also like we didn't have manual blocking at all. This is manual blocking. This is the 6-point access blocking. Conor Benn is favoring his right side here, and he's back. He's in a. I don't think he was in a shell when we were in there either. when we were there, I don't know if Connor Ben was in a shell when we had him. I don't know. But it looks like he kind of has like a shell here. All right, now let this like Caleb Plant bit play out. Right, look at the arm extended there. Turns out that that's his loose footwork movement. And that's just one of the, again, those idle positions that play. Or I'm sorry, not the idle positions, but those idle animations that play. And for the most part, I think after the beginning of day one, most of us like didn't use Caleb Plant after. So that may be why that was like something like I didn't notice at first, right? Like I didn't notice that at first. So I thought that was something new, but it turns out it was just, oh God, Caleb. It turns out that was just Caleb's loose footwork animation. And also too, another thing that made me stop using Caleb Plant was the Philly shell. So I didn't have like good head movement. So like me trying to like roll with shots, just it wasn't gonna work. So I was kind of stationary with my block, and in that shell, like the only thing that's stopping like a right hook is the physics, basically like the hook running into my shoulder. But other than that, like I was free range for a right hook or right hand, you know, whatever you wanted to throw. So that's another reason why I didn't use Plant. But now that you have that manual blocking and you can get out of the shell and favor a side and do things like that, like that Philly shell might be a problem. Like look at the sequence of like slips. Like you see how it's just kind of nice and tight. You're ready to fire back, right? In this position, you know he's got his legs up under him. He's ready to fire back if he sees the opportunity to fire back, and he's gonna fire back with a good stunning punch here in a real fight, right? That's why I'm saying I love how tight the L2 like slipping is. I love it. It's authentic to me. So punching from the block, when you were pressing your block button and you press the right hand straight, y'all, the animation that plays, like we're gonna see Toro Gotti do it here. They're like leaning forward and getting more like reach into that punch, and it will throw off someone's timing, right? You're in the middle of a fight, you think you have the range figured out, and someone puts up their block and punches and throws the right hand from it. It like Tenchu was good at, and I even like started implementing it on the very last day versus Rack. It is a great tool. Like it's coming up here. Boom, right there. You see how he's leaning forward. I hate how it has this like white tint, but you can see him leaning forward and throwing his right hook. I'm sorry, his right hand. Let me see if we can kind of catch it like right in the middle, right? You can see him leaning forward. He's blocking and throwing the right hand, y'all. That animation, I feel like everybody shouldn't have it. If everybody has that animation, yo, oh man, that's a great tool to have. I don't know who you would take that away from and why, but that's a great tool that a lot of people ain't gonna have in their bag, man. Oh man, that just threw off your timing completely. Okay, so here, like I think it's that the punches, like it's weird because when we were playing it, I did not feel like none of the punches were like they didn't have pop, but like watching it back, like that right hook, it was one of them right hooks. It's a play right hook, like in a movie. Like I'm gonna throw this right hook, but I don't want to hurt you. I don't know what it is. Like there's no like snap. I don't know what it is. Oh, that sounded terrible. I did notice this sound though. This sound, I don't know where they got this sound from. Sound like some sound like some plastic like hidden brick. I don't know what that sounds. That sounds bad though. These sound fine. Sounds like flesh. And as you can see here, they're in round 6, right? And their corners are just perfectly in the corner. That's why I'm saying, like, is this really what we played? Because in our game, they would have been in the middle of the ring. But that's the end of the video, y'all. Hopefully, I provided some type of like context and kind of made you guys understand what we were talking about when we got back and made our videos. But I am out. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.